What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. Another episode of Green Lit Gang TV. Much love, much appreciation. Thank you guys so much for checking out the channel today. It means a lot that you are here. Really quick, before we jump into it, let's do the intros. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Genuinely do hope you enjoy it. And if you do like it, go back, check out some of our videos, check out some other content, and let me know what you think. If you are a returning individual, member, subscriber to this channel, then the growth that this channel has experienced so far in 2025 is truly because of you guys. And again, just humbled, grateful, very appreciative. And lastly, if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, hit the like button, hit the comment button, engage in some conversation, and smash the subscribe button. Let's go.
New tonight, a murder mystery inside the walls of the Solano State Prison in Vacaville. An inmate is dead, his cellmate accused of the Grisly killing. Nearly 15 hours after a riot back in May, guards found the body of a missing inmate dismembered.
As KCRA 3's Tom Miller explains, investigators believe his cellmate is responsible, and they're now holding him as a suspect.
Guards found the body of missing inmate Nicholas Rodriguez nearly cut in two and with many organs removed. This, according to the Associated Press, after receiving a copy of Rodriguez's autopsy. The riot happened the morning of May 4th here at California State Prison Solano in Vacaville.
Two inmates started fighting, and it escalated into a riot that eventually involved about 58 inmates. The riot was quelled. Our correctional peace officers used pepper spray and other less than lethal force options to stop these fights.
Several inmates and a guard were taken to the hospital. In a search of the area, guards found an unspecified weapon, but later that afternoon discovered Rodriguez was missing.
Later that night, they found the body of inmate Nicholas Rodriguez. Since then, this incident has been investigated as a homicide.
Rodriguez's cellmate, 46-year-old Jesus Perez, is being held as a suspect in the murder. Though he was already serving a life sentence for murder, Solano is only a medium security facility. From 2001 to 2012, the most recent statistics available, more than 160 inmates were murdered in California state prisons. That number is more than triple any other state. According to the autopsy report, Rodriguez had alcohol in his system and was killed by blows to the head, dead before he was cut open. There are still many questions that need answering. What kind of weapon was involved and where did it come from? How did such a gruesome killing happen at a facility with security and surveillance video? And why did it take so long to find Rodriguez's body? All that, according to the State Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, is under investigation. Reporting in Vacaville, Tom Miller.
Nicholas Anthony Rodriguez, an Oakland, California man who was sent to Vacaville, California, Solano State Prison to serve an 8-year bid for armed robbery. Rodriguez would be discovered on May 4th, 2015 at approximately 9:30 p.m. Rodriguez wasn't just discovered. He was discovered almost cut in half and his organs were missing. See, 14 and a half hours prior to Rodriguez's discovery, a 58-man riot had broken out. And amongst the fray, Rodriguez had gone missing and was unaccounted for those 14 and a half hours. At first, there was no suspect until corrections staff and investigators alike would narrow it down to Rodriguez's cellmate, Jesus Perez. All right, guys, what's going on? So today we're going to be going to CDCR Solano State Prison. We're going to be covering the gruesome, to say the least, murder of Nicholas Anthony Rodriguez. When they found him, he was basically cut in half, had been disemboweled. Kind of the meaning of disemboweled is when your insides are removed. And in this case, his organs were removed, and it was a mystery as to where they were at for quite a long time. We're going to be reading from a couple articles, including going into the background of his alleged killer, who ended up being convicted of his killing, Jesus Perez. We're going to be starting with some articles just about kind of the incident, how it took place, how it went down, and then we're going to be going to the background of Jesus Perez and the homicide that he was convicted of. They got him his life sentence. Our victim in this case, Nicholas Anthony Rodriguez, he was from Oakland, California. He was just in there on a 8-year bid for robbery. Brought to question not only the security that California prisons possess, the safety of inmates, the safety of staff. Remember, this story is 10 years old, and here we are today dealing with these issues, but I feel like even at a higher level. But this story really just made the media the front page of everything, the front page of every newspaper, the front page of every online article, because you see inmate found, cut in half, organs removed, organs missing, that kind of stuff. Anyway, here's an article. July 12th, 2015. Nicholas Anthony Rodriguez was discovered on May 4th, 2015 at 9:30 p.m., 14 and a half hours after a riot had kicked off inside Solano State Prison. Nearly 15 hours after that riot had kicked off in a Northern California prison that took place on May 4th, guards found a missing inmate sawed nearly in two, with his abdominal organs and most chest organs removed. His body folded and stuffed into a garbage can in a shower stall a few doors from his cell. Details of the gruesome May killing at the medium-security California State Prison Solano are laid out in an autopsy report obtained by the Associated Press under a public records request. The Grisly discovery raises obvious questions about the prison security. How could such a gruesome killing happen inside a locked facility with security and surveillance? How could someone obtain weapons sharp enough to dissect a body? And why did it take so long to uncover? I feel like those last two are pretty easy to answer. There's all sorts of weapons that are made every single day across prisons, not just in California, but in the United States and hell, for other countries, for a matter of fact, for that matter as well. Why did it take so long to uncover? Well, the same day, 14 and a half hours prior, remember, 58-man riot had kicked off. Staff, probably understaffed in the Solano State Prison, were busy dealing with all kinds of injuries to other inmates, injuries to their own staff. It went undiscovered. Stuff happens like this all the time. Maybe not to this extent, but things not being discovered till much farther down the road, whether that be assaults, murders, beatings, whatever you want to call it. A lot of times those things, whether they might not ever get discovered or they don't get discovered for long periods of time. Rodriguez had alcohol in his system and was dead before he was eviscerated. Man, that's just the removal of the organs. Killed by blows to the head that left him with a deep star-shaped wound on his forehead among his multiple skull fractures, cuts, and other wounds, according to the May 27th autopsy report conducted by the Solano County Sheriff's Coroner Office. Homicides are distressingly common in California prisons. More than 160 inmates have been killed in the last 15 years, and the state has one of the nation's highest inmate homicide rates. Yet the death of 24-year-old Nicholas Anthony Rodriguez stands out. Several hours before Rodriguez was found dead, a riot involving 58 inmates occurred at one of the prison's level 3 medium security yards, prison officials said. Rodriguez's missing organs, quote, are still part of the investigations at the prison in Vacaville, 40 miles southwest of Sacramento. Department of Corrections Rehabilitation spokesman Terry Thornton said Friday. That was the woman talking in that news report that I put up for you guys. No one has been charged with killing Rodriguez, an Oakland man who was serving an 8-year robbery sentence from Alameda County. Rodriguez was sentenced August 17, 2010 to 8 years in prison for second-degree robbery and arrived at California State Prison Solano on August 4, 2014. However, Thornton said his cellmate, a 46-year-old man, they don't name it right here, but we do know his name to be Jesus Perez, was serving a life sentence for a Los Angeles County murder, is considered the only suspect and is being held in segregation. Thornton said she couldn't say how the homicide was carried out or concealed since it's still being investigated. Quote, it's very difficult to cover every contingency within the limited staff that we have, said Chuck Alexander, president of the California Correctional Peace Officers Association that represents most prison guards. His mother, I always feel bad for this stuff, Maria Rodriguez of Oakland, said she has been given no details about what happened. She said she had not seen the autopsy report, but said that she knew her son's body was badly injured. Quote, when I saw my son at the funeral, he was so bad in the face, she said in a telephone interview. Quote, I called them last week, and they say they're going to tell me in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, but right now, we don't got nothing. Fast forward, February 7th, 2019, this is after Jesus Perez, picked up for this, ends up getting charged, all that. A former California State Prison Solano inmate accused of killing his cellmate more than 3 years ago pled no contest to the murder charge Thursday in Solano County Superior Court and will be sentenced later this month. Jesus Perez, who is now 50 years old, entered his plea in Judge John B. Ellis's courtroom and will face judgment and sentencing at 8:30 a.m. on February 27th in Department 23 in the Hall of Justice in Fairfield. Perez's defense attorney, Barry K. Newman, said his client faces 25 to life in state prison for killing 24-year-old Nicholas A. Rodriguez on May 4th, 2015 at the medium security prison on Peabody Road in Vacaville. At the time, Perez was already serving a life sentence for a 2009 murder conviction in Los Angeles County. As the case made its way through the county courts, Ellis in October ruled Perez was competent to stand trial and rescheduled a readiness conference for Thursday morning, but Perez, who had previously pled not guilty to the charge, entered the plea. Before his decision, Perez faced a court trial during which a judge serves as the jury. During the October hearing, Perez, a previously convicted felon, registered no outward emotion reaction to Ellis's competency ruling. Yeah, it makes sense why they put him through that. You can definitely tell just in the mugshot I put up there, dude's a little off. He's not all there. And it's easy to say, hey, certain people shouldn't be housed with each other, but this is what you get. When you get overcrowding, when you get understaffing, these are the kind of things that continue to happen. So he does end up being convicted of that, and they just go on to give you more of the details that I already gave you. We don't need to go back over what happened to Nicholas Rodriguez's body. It's horrific. It's sad, no matter what somebody's in there for. When you hear that kind of stuff happening to a body, it's pretty horrible. Okay, I did go find an appeal that was filed under on behalf of Jesus Perez. Give some background information on the murder he carried. You guys know I like bringing you more info, so I was able to do that with this one. We're going to be reading, talks about how on January 2nd, 2008, basically he gets charged, Jesus Alonso Perez, with the attempted second-degree robbery and murder of Antonio Torres Cimental. And it goes on how the information alleges murder had been committed during the attempted robbery. Tries to rob a guy, ends up killing him. Then goes on to say how a jury found Jesus Perez guilty of first-degree murder, but not guilty of second-degree attempted robbery. And then on June 16th, 2007 is where the statement of facts picks up, and this is where we're going to be talking about what actually happened. J.C. Kleins worked as a security guard at the Hubert Humphrey Health Clinic on Slauson and Main Street in Los Angeles. At approximately 9:45 p.m., he was in the clinic control room, viewing the monitor of a security system whose cameras he controlled with the joystick. When Kleins noticed a car traveling on Main Street, he decided to focus a camera on the car. The car stopped near the clinic's main parking lot, and after several minutes, the driver left the car and walked toward another man seated on a brick wall facing Main Street. After the driver and the man engaged in a struggle, the driver folded up what appeared to be a knife. Kleins shifted the camera to follow the driver as he returned to the car and drove away. When Kleins moved the camera in the direction of the brick wall to locate the other man, he saw a person lying on the far side of Main Street. A video recording of the incident viewed by Klein was played by the jury. Los Angeles Police Department officers found Antonio Cimental lying on Main Street with stab wounds to his chest. Cimental died of his wounds while being transported to a hospital. Officers located the car shown in the video recording from the clinic's security camera and arrested Jesus Perez, his registered owner. On June 21st, 2007, LAPD detectives Miguel Terrazas and Dennis Fanning interviewed Jesus Perez in a room equipped with an audio recorder. After Terrazas avowed appellant of his rights under the Miranda v. Arizona, his Miranda rights, Jesus Perez agreed to speak with the detectives. Perez initially denied any role in the incident involving Cimental. However, during an unrecorded break, the detectives took appellant from the interview room to Terrazas' cubicle, where Perez watched the video recording from the clinic's security camera. When Perez returned to the audio-equipped interview room, he told the detectives that he had tried to rob Cimental. Jesus Perez also stated that he struck Cimental while holding a knife without, quote, intending to stick him. Needless to say, that was played for the jury, gets found guilty, gets sentenced to life. A few years later, he kills Nicholas Rodriguez after a 58-man riot kicked off in Solano State Prison. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Until next time, you already know what it is. Peace.